have to record it.
So happy to have you, Anna, with us. And Anna Begas, I know you for many years already. And we live very close to each other. Almost we live very, very close to each other. And now
Yes.
a bit less close. And we worked many years together in the Detox International. And yeah, as life moves us all around, so we branched off, and you developed so beautifully into plant medicine, and I started the Infinite Being Academy. And I'd
Mm,
love to hear what you're doing, Anna, because I'm sure, because we're both working with energy, and I'm sure it's very much related to what we do, and I'm sure our communities will be interested to hear of each other's work. So
yes.
tell us more, Anna.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's really exciting. And I'm also curious to know what you're doing now. Um, yeah, so me and Yair worked together in Detox International until about 3 years ago, right? In the
Yeah,
COVID period.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's when Detox International stopped because of the circumstances. And I guess both of us found different ways. And for me, that was going online and combining basically everything that I had been doing except for the body work, um, combining everything together and starting to offer that online. And um, in alignment with my own process as well and what was helping me mostly. So I combined basically the energy work, women's coaching, and plant medicine work into a course, and started working online with women mainly. With most of my clients are highly sensitive or empathic or somehow have high sensitivity. So a lot of the problems or the challenges that come up for very sensitive women is maybe overwhelm or a feeling of a lack of grounding, or there's so much to process and so much to feel that it's difficult to find the clarity and the direction in life. And it's difficult to actually bring those, to live that sensitivity as a gift and to bring that gift out into the world and to shine our light into the world. So um, it became basically a passion to help or to guide women to bring that gift of sensitivity out into the world, because I really believe that the world as it is at the moment really needs that sensitive touch and needs us to really take our space and to really shine our lights, and not to wait around much longer, basically.
This
And
is very,
so,
I just want to
yeah,
say this is very beautiful. And the gift of sensitivity, to look at sensitivity as a gift and not as a curse that I cannot tolerate, either, spaces, radiation, people, whatever, that I can actually take it as an advantage and also help myself and other people. So
exactly.
how do you connect this sensitivity with plant medicine and working with people with plants?
Well, what I found in most of my own life, and then later on also in most of the clients that have this high sensitivity, is there's actually one of the difficulties is a lack of grounding and a lack of really embodying ourselves, and not just the physical body but also the energy body. And I found through my own journey that really I needed nature, and I needed a really, really deep contact with nature. That's what would always get me back into my center. And in
Mhm.
the very, very, very challenging moments in my life, that's what actually got me back into my power and back into my alignment, and able to listen to my higher guidance. And I started realizing that some of that higher guidance is are the plants speaking to me? So that was so helpful for me. The combination of really, grounding myself, slowing down my very, very busy mind. Because to be able to connect to nature or to the plants, you have to kind of come into this slower pace. And the guidance that I found in the plant spirits themselves or in nature itself is what really helped me on my path. So I just started to work with that with other women.
Can I ask you a
And
question? Because
yes,
in what we teach in the Infinite Being Academy in the courses, a little part is we also like connecting with plants, we moving with plants, and we feeling plants, and that's very much coinciding with what we do. Could you give more specific examples? Maybe specific plants, and how do you connect? And how do you guide people to connect with plants?
yeah. Well, first, I guess the first step is a mental one. So it's just opening up to this ideas that plants are beings, alive beings, just like you and me. So they have a spirit, they have a character, they have something to say. If we think that the plants have nothing to say, we've already, closed ourselves off for that communication, or we've already silenced them. So the first step is really just opening up to, maybe it's a possibility what is talked about as plant spirits or plant consciousness, and just to open yourself up to maybe it's a possibility that is real and that I can connect to that too. And I feel that's a very big step. And then, yeah, very important is just basically to go out to nature and to slow yourself down, to calm your mind down, and to start looking at the world around you from that place, from that openness. I guess it's an openness of heart as well as an openness of mind, and just starting to meet these other beings that grow around us as beings, no, that you can have a relationship with, just like a human being.
Did
And
you
then
have
we
a,
often,
sorry, did you have a
yeah,
specific examples of a specific plant, or does different plants has a different nature in general, like
yes,
rosemary, lavender, each one has different, and then within the plants, the family, each individual has their own identity. Is it
yeah, I
something like
feel
this?
every um, um, plants have their spirit. So I can meet rosemary, for example, here where I live, and I can meet her on the hills where you live. I'll be meeting the same spirit, but because they grow in different circumstances, I'll see, maybe some different aspects of it. And then every plant, whether I would be meeting rosemary or say, I don't know, a calendula, would give me a totally different experience. And we tend to be called by the plants that really have the medicine that we need in this moment. So yeah, I can give examples of plants that have really helped me. Rosemary is actually one of them lately. Rosemary is really helping me to for me, no, this is also individual, but I've worked with rosemary with groups of people, and there tends to be like a common medicine that we pick up. So it has a lot to do with remembrance who we are. And for me personally, that showed me a lot of some past traumas I had in the past. And so it was showing me who I wasn't, to be able to remember who I was and to be able to step back into my power of who I am actually. And that comes in the connection with rosemary, for me, that comes with a kind of very stable, quite serious, forward moving movement in life. And there's a lot of sense of protection, which is great for the high sensitivity, for
But
example.
how do you do it practically? Do you have to go and sit in front of the plant? Do you think about the plant? How it's working?
Many different ways. The first thing is just to go to the plant and sit with it and intuitively feel with that, feel what changes in your own body and energy field, and to go to that plant with the respect that you're meeting a teacher. So then you open yourself up to actually receive the messages. So that's a very intuitive step, but also, for example, in the oh, there's Caesar. In the course that I'm teaching, we also have more botanical steps, so to say. So we observe the botany of the plants and we look at in what way is this plant talking to us. So the way it grows, the leaves, the color of the flowers, everything is language. And we start to understand this language and also the dance of a plant. So when a plant is a little seed and it becomes like a little sprout and then it starts to grow, they all have their dance. Like if you would look at it through a time-lapse video, you would see this dance. And so we start to get to know this dance and really embody it. And then from your own body and from your own being, you start to feel and experience that medicine. And then the rest works through you. So it could be dreams, it could be thoughts, sudden memories, maybe real messages, depending on how your mind works. So some people see things or feel it or hear it.
That's very beautiful. Did you also can you also just think of the plant and
Yes,
and perceive its quality?
absolutely. You don't have to be physically with it. I think it really helps to first establish the physical connection, and also if it's not a toxic plant, to drink the tea and to actually have this physical bond. But then once you get the sense of this other being and once you establish this relationship, you can connect to this energy wherever you are. So
Yeah.
inside a city or inside your house or in your bed or
So you know, we live, you know where we live here on the farm, you
yes.
know, and sometimes we have to prune the trees. You know, that's horrible, you know, according to what you say. And I know it for myself, you know, I don't even dare to even feel. I can think, but I don't dare to feel what the tree feels when we call it prune, but actually you take a chainsaw and you cut it. You know, it's
Mm,
horrible,
yeah.
horrible. But yeah, so also when you go even for a walk and you know you brush through different plants and maybe you step on something. I mean, how can we live sensitive in this world? You know, either you close up or you get crazy, something like
I
this, you
think
know?
I think one great element is gratitude. So when you have trees because you want to take the olives, for example, and you're making olive oil, and so you want to prune them because basically they're easier to pick and you get more olives. So rather than doing that with a feeling of, oh my god, I this is horrible, I feel guilty and I'm in pain now too, I think approach that with gratitude for the reciprocity between you and the tree, and maybe even just communicating with it um, about why you are doing this, and maybe the tree will even help you see, like, well, take this branch, or do it this way. Then, having said that, a tree always will do its natural course. So when, as you know, when you cut a branch off, there will be many shooting up on the side because it's still trying to do that. It's still trying to get to its shape that it wants to be in. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the same with eating. No, I mean the plants. What is really beautiful to just keep in mind all the time, that the plants, we depend on the plants for our lives. Literally, oxygen, food, clothing, building, everything. They don't depend on us. So even we breathe with them in relationship. Like the oxygen we receive, and they receive our dioxide. So um, it's good to keep always that gratitude in mind of everything that they're giving us.
Hmm. Um, you know, because you've been doing it for a while, do you have some you know, experiences with people that, you know, going through this journey with you, help them change, you know, their way of being?
Yeah, well, to be honest, the experiences are way beyond what I imagined. I found it scary also to bring this out into the world. That was my own process, and really, what's coming back to me in terms of experiences from the clients is really beyond what I ever thought this would do. Yeah, just to give some examples, I had different women working with different thistles, for example, and that really helped to work with their anger. So to become aware of the anger, so to become aware of boundaries and where boundaries were transgressed. And for one woman, that resulted in her detoxing her life. So she stopped alcohol. She started to really take her space as an artist, and her work life really was thriving because she knew now where to say no and where to where to put her boundaries and where to put her intention and direction. And someone else really transformed anger into creativity, which was really beautiful as well. Another really nice woman I worked with, she worked with Hawthorne, and she had been suffering from chronic illnesses, various illnesses for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very debilitating in terms of what she could do in her daily life and the energy levels she had. And basically, through this process with Hawthorne, it was almost like she could leave behind an old sense of self. And
Amazing.
it was not an easy process, but she was born again as this new version of herself to start
Yeah.
basically a new
Wow.
season in her life. Yeah.
Amazing.
Um,
I want to
yeah,
ask
another
you.
really amazing woman. She had a very interesting nomadic life and connected to the spruce tree that really went deep into healing her relationship with her mother and the women in her life, like the feminine line. And that resulted eventually in her moving back to her home country, where she is established now, after having been, I think, more than a decade out of her home country. And so she
Amazing.
found her roots, basically.
Beautiful. I want to ask you something, because you're based in Spain, and obviously the people that you work are not everybody in Spain. So how do you do the work with people that have different plants in their environment compared to where you live?
Well, yeah, I don't need to know the plant basically. And in on the course, the immersion into plant communication course, every woman is called by another plant. So I don't
Mm.
decide on the plant. They learn to follow that calling, and so it will be a plant that grows around them, and then they have that journey of 6 weeks with that particular plant. So every woman works with another plant.
Wow. So how did they discover the plant? They just go out and they just feel
Yeah,
which
they
one
prepare
called them.
themselves. Like we start the journey with gratitude and we end it with gratitude. So they prepare offerings for the plant that they don't know yet. And they prepare offerings for the earth and they prepare themselves mentally and then go out on a walk basically. And then they will be called and they it always happens. And sometimes it even happens before the actual walk, that they might have a dream or yeah, just a strong sense, or they are guided to where to walk, and then there is a plant. Yeah, it happens. It
Oh,
yeah.
beautiful. That's fascinating. Uh, Anna, do you have any training coming up that you'd like to share with the
Yes,
people who watch it?
yeah, I'd love to
Wha-
share that.
Yeah,
Next Tuesday, actually, 14th of February, Valentine's Day, I have a new round starting, so a new group starting, and yeah, that's open for enrollment right now.
beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Uh, and also you have something in 2 days? Is
I
it
have, yeah, Thursday, I have a
Thursday?
live conversation in my Facebook group, which is called Sensitive Women of the Earth, with two of the women I've been working with, who have been
Mm-hmm.
working with plants, with Rosemary and Yarrow. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
be talking about their experiences, their transformations, and I might be talking a bit about my own journeys with plants as well.
If
So
people want
that's
to join, what do you need to do?
so when you want to join, you need to go to Facebook and join the group called Sensitive Women of the Earth. I think maybe we can leave a link
Yeah,
below
we'll
this
do it.
video.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
And then Thursday, 12:30 Central European Time, we are live.
Okay, beautiful. We put the link
Yeah,
down. Great. Thank you.
great.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. It's yeah, nice to be asked and to be sharing. And I'd also love to know about what you've been doing
Yeah. Yeah.
since Detox
I'll
International.
I'll tell you in a minute. I just want to say that I'm so thrilled to hear your work. You know, it's so beautiful and very, very inspiring. And yeah, it's very, you know, shamanic, you know,
Yeah,
just to connect and to feel and to be guided. And yeah, that's the new earth. That's the
yes,
new direction for sure. And thank you for doing it. And looks like both you and me and many, many, many people on planet Earth are called to do this work now to bring new consciousness into humanity. So we move out of the mess we are in right now, and we thrive. We thrive.
exactly. And that's
Yeah.
also what I feel the plants are guiding me, sometimes really pushing me to do. And it wasn't
Mm,
easy actually for
mm,
me to come out with that work because of
mm,
my own insecurities and um,
mm,
imposter syndrome and all of that was coming up. But step by step, I kept being guided that this is actually the part of my work that needs to come out. And what I see in the plants guiding the women I work with is that we learn to really take our space so that we can do this work, as as light workers, as healers, as therapists, as artists, musicians, creative people. We need to learn how do we actually take that space, how do we actually shine our light, and the plants in general show us how to do that in synergy with each other, so we're lifting
amazing.
each other up.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
I love you what you say. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so basically, since Detox International, I mean, I just continue, you know, because I was teaching about energy before and through Detox International, and it's just natural that I feel such a drive to continue and teach about people about energy. And me in my own journey, it's very, very powerfully connected with a spiritual practice, with meditation, and with a deep sense of connecting to all there is and to unity. So the combination between studying acupuncture and Chinese
Mm.
medicine, yoga, and spirituality, and especially the teaching of Ramana Maharishi of non-duality Advaita, kind of brought it together into how to acknowledge that actually we are an infinite being, and as infinite being, we can actually connect to each other and to connect exactly like you're talking about the plant, to feel that everything is alive. So basically, I started the Infinite Being Academy, where I teach people how to use energy, to read energy, and to help themselves by assuring that the life force is actually flowing in harmony within themselves, and that also to be able to use it, especially if they work with other people, to support other people to recognize blockages of energy and how to open the blockages.
Mm.
And I mean, for me, it's fascinating how it works and how easy it is to teach people to see energy. That you know, when I start to get into this world of energy, I thought that people seeing aura is really very unique ability, but actually everybody can see aura, everybody can connect to energy. It's no problem at all.
So
And
how do you teach that, for example, to see the energy?
yeah, I start always from the most obvious, you know. For example, I teach people, not teach people, I show people colors, and as they connect to color, each color they feel different. Yeah, I let them hear different sounds, and each sounds vibrate differently in their body. So I start from the obvious, because the obvious is that our body is reactive or reacting to sound, for example, to beat, to colors. And we feel that actually it's straightforward. Obviously, if I see a certain color and I feel happy or sad or opening or closing, that's my reaction to the color. If I hear a certain beat, that's my reaction to the music, etc. So we're starting from the obvious, from what we are used to feel, and then we're going slowly into the more subtle, but very, very slowly, so the mind slowly understand how to recognize subtle sensation, what we call energy in the body. So movement, vibration, colors, images, temperature, many sensation that the mind start to pick up. Most people from my experience can connect to it. They don't need any special too detailed guiding. Most people are energy aware. Yeah, maybe they don't call it energy, but when you start to say, yeah, this is energy. This tingling is energy. Okay, so this energy. I mean, energy is a word, but the idea is that there is a more subtle awareness of what we call energy in the body. Once they are aware of this vibration in the body, then we start to work with it. So we start to recognize how a chakra feels, how the aura feels, how imbalance feels when the energy start to get blocked in the body. And then we start to break barriers. And the barrier, for example, is where do I stop? Do I stop in my skin? Yeah. Do I stop in my aura? Do I end? Where do I end? And then we start to do a process on that to realize that actually we never end and actually we never begin. We are infinite being now embodying a physical form, but the awareness is not limited to this form. So the awareness can perceive anything beyond time and space. So this is a very, very revealing journey that people go through to realize actually who they are and to realize the nature of reality. And then it has infinite implication of how you can help yourself, how do you recognize your journey, your personal journey in life, how do you can work with other people, a lot of healing abilities coming up. So people go through a major transformation in this journey.
So could you share a bit about that transformation, like in terms of healing, for example, one's healing path, for themselves? How would that work through this energy awareness?
Yeah, just yesterday I worked with a guy that I applied this energy reading to support this person, and this person could, by connecting to how the energy is blocked in his body, he could connect it to different psychological tendency that he has through all his life, and in a way start to bring a very profound awareness to what's going on. Because you can do psychotherapy, and which is super important, but it's limited only to working on a mental level. So once you add to this work energy awareness, and you see, for example, that the back is so blocked and so charged with energy, yeah, so there is something there behind that doesn't allow the person to move on, or something that he constantly push into the back that he doesn't want to see, or whatever. So the minute we bringing energy awareness, it can give huge amount of information, and in a way cut straight into the main point of what's going on. In many cases, we go into the time of the person in the uterus, yeah? Because when we work with energy, we move beyond time and space. So you can do anything you want. You can move anywhere you want very, very fast. So there is no problem to say, okay, now let's connect to the time in the uterus and see how was it. But really, it's not how was it, is how is it? Because there is no really past. It's an experience that it's right now, and we can perceive it. So then you get amazing information, of what's going on.
And is that information the part that's healing, because if something has happened while you're in the uterus, it tends to be very unconscious trauma that we carry all of our lives.
Yeah,
So you bring the attention there and the awareness,
yeah,
and then how
yeah.
does that
So
work? How does that
yeah,
transform?
what's happening? What's happening? I think that awareness is 50% of the healing. So what's happening? You go to the time in the uterus, you realize that you had a tendency there to retract, to be afraid. Maybe you felt that your mother was not present for you, with you, or something else that caused you to be that way. So you're connecting to it. Okay. Now, many times I ask the people, so actually, do you feel it right now as well, this feeling? And they'll say, yes, I do.
Yeah,
Meaning that the same feeling from the time in the uterus is really the background of their life and maybe the most
yeah,
important experience in their life, in the background. So once they're aware of that, so it gives them so much empowerment to realize that actually what they are experiencing and what's actually pushing them to behave in a certain way is actually a result of that trauma. Okay, so just that awareness also is a great healing because they don't only realize it as that's only what happened to me because something is wrong with me. No, I'm
yeah,
carrying some trauma from childhood that I can realize what's going on. So only that is extremely healing. But we do more than that because when we go, for example, back in time, we try to also recognize amazing times, you know.
mm,
Yeah. For example, we go into a state of free spirit before we enter into the uterus. And a free spirit is a time that most people experiencing great opening, great flow, like beautiful, beautiful state of being. And then ask them. So if you experience it back then, meaning it's in you right now. So it's obvious that inside us there's so many possibilities, and because the traumatic possibilities are more loud and
yeah,
present, that's really what guides us in our life, and that's really what shape our life. But there is that beautiful experience, for example, of this free spirit. Why don't I take this and make it my new default? Why?
yeah,
Because I'm educated, I'm programmed, to be like this, to be the trauma person and not the free spirit person. But I can bring the free spirit into this moment and educate my being again to be free spirit, to be that light, infinite being, which is my nature. And
yeah.
like this, the people understand that they have choice. We're not doomed to suffer, doomed to be this narrow, anxious, running around, fearful person. We can feel
Repeating,
amazing.
yeah.
We
I
can,
love that because I think we're in great times where we're learning to the to shift paradigms. Now we're not just learning and growing through suffering and trauma, we're learning and growing through love. And I think a lot of the focus has been on uh, learning through suffering, and even a lot of religions are um, yeah, putting the focus on that. But actually we can learn through joy and abundance and love. I love that, giving those two perspectives. Actually, I also remember that I went to see you, and we went to the moment. Well, we went also into the uterus, or when I was in the uterus, but also to the moment before coming in. And I just remembered that I felt this great drive, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, And I don't know if I knew what I was up for, but I was like really looking forward. And I can actually, while you were talking, I realized, yeah, I can really tap into that enthusiasm. Like, I'm gonna go to Earthside and do this thing, whatever I want to be doing here. And I can feel that sometimes when I'm walking my path, no, in my work, but also as a mother, and in various branches of my life, that actually I was really happy to come here and do this.
yeah. But being a human being is not an easy peasy thing, and everybody knows that and feel it. And I just want to say how admiring I am for you for your, to be a single mother with 2 children and managing everything and having a business.
Yeah.
Anna, you are
Thank
amazing.
you.
I'm telling you, you're amazing. You're amazing. And
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy we have this time to share and
Yeah.
yeah, and hopefully the people who are listening can, benefit from it. And yeah, I just want to say that we have in the Infinite Being Academy, we have courses, constant.
Yeah. Tell us about that. How
Yeah,
do you work?
so yeah, we develop a 3 modules certification program that start with what we call energy coaching for professional, where I teach the basic of energy reading, how to see the energy, how to see the chakra and understand how the energy body function, how to see the aura and the meaning of the aura, and how there's can be different imbalances, and to get more a wider understanding about the soul journey and yeah, many things that relates to energy and
Mm.
the essence of our being. Yeah, and just to try to get more grip on what's happening here on this planet. What are we doing here? So this is the basic training. It's 10 weeks. And then after that, we go into what we call the advanced training, in which we start to understand and to make sense of what we see. Okay, so if I see that there's somebody is blocked in the chest, what it means, and how can I support them to release the blockage.
Mm.
So this is in a way, more practical, let's say a bit more clinical, uh, and deeper in terms of the self journey of each one. And then the last part is when we work clinically to train the graduates how to become professionals, how to take this information and apply it clinically. So we call it the supervised clinic course. Okay.
Wow.
And then we develop also a branch of that people who graduate the program can learn how to use energy reading to coach couples. Yeah, so to add it
Mm.
for the practice working with couple, and this is also fascinating because this is all about interaction between 2 people and how to make this interaction loving. How to
Yeah.
bring love into the relationship, and not you did this, you did that, and to really understand where each one of the couple is coming from and what do they bring into the relationship, and why when you say this I feel ah, and when you say that I feel ah. And how can we understand that this ah is not belong to you, it's belong to my upbringing, and
Yeah.
don't take it so seriously, it's not about you. Yeah, so
That's so beautiful because so much of our healing happens in close relationships.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so we teaching this course right now. And then I also offer constant meditations. So I give free twice a week meditation, and it's free for everybody. And
And where do you give those?
this one I do in Instagram and on Zoom. So people who are interested
Okay.
can
So
just
that's
get in
Infinite
touch.
Being Academy
Yeah, Infinite Being
on Insta.
Academy, and you can get in touch, and then I add you to the WhatsApp group and send you all the information.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wonderful.
beautiful.
Yeah, that all sounds amazing. Yeah, I didn't know actually you have all those courses set up. That's really great. Yeah.
Beautiful, Anna. So nice to catch up,
Yeah,
and
you too.
good luck. Good luck,
Thank you very
and
much. Yeah, you
your
too.
success is success of humanity, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we're all doing our service. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It
Have a
was great
beautiful,
to catch
beautiful
up.
day.
You too.
Okay. Bye bye,
Okay.
Anna.
Bye.
Kisses.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.